Hello and welcome back to my channel. I have been MIA for a few years and so I want to start off with some explanation and where I've been, what happened, and all of that kinds of stuff just very quickly before we dive into the video. So for starters, I was very sick. I have an immune disease, but there was some other autoimmune disease, and there was some other things that were not playing very well with that. And so about a year plus, a little over a year of that time that I've been gone, I was traveling every week to Duke for doctor's appointments and treatment. And that was just a lot. So I am a full-time author, but I spend some of my time working a couple of part-time jobs. And so my author work week is only like 3 or 4 days. And so when you take one of those out for traveling and all of that kinds of stuff, that ate up a lot of time. But then I also just was not feeling well. A lot of my symptoms included like brain fog and stuff like that. And so that made working very difficult. I was also very burnt out, which we'll get more into that later. I struggle with workaholism. I am very driven. I'm very goal-oriented as a person. I apologize. These dogs were like over there super fine on their own until I started filming a video, and now they're all over me. So yes, hello honey, go away. I love you. You're super cute. Leave. Sorry, bumped the table. So yeah, it's been a lot. I would like to say that I'm recovered from burnout. I am not. I think when you're spending most of your time ill and battling disease, there's not really recovery happening. So still not recovered from burnout. It's been very frustrating how long this is taking. And I don't know how much longer it's going to take. It's probably going to be an ongoing process. But yeah, so I was very sick. Then my dad got very sick. And I actually ended up losing my dad last month. So that's been very hard. And so I'm still grieving. I'm still processing. There's still a lot going on. So I'm not diving back into YouTube thinking, all is well now, fresh start, gung-ho. I'm not here to befriend the algorithm or to post regularly and try to grow my audience or anything like that. Like, I am here because I know there's probably some other people who, and now the dog is eating, so if you can hear that, I apologize. There are probably some people who are going through something similar or like the same of some of the aspects of what I've been going through, and I want to offer some encouragement and camaraderie. I'm here for community. I'm also here to just love on, encourage, and share some insight and stuff with other authors, etc. So I am an author. That's mostly what my YouTube channel is for. If you are here because you saw the video of me going to the Harry Potter theme park and sharing what people with food allergies can eat, that was not the main purpose of my channel, but I love that that resonated with so many people because I travel a lot for work doing book signing events or going to conferences and stuff like that. And so as part of that, like traveling with an autoimmune disease or a food allergy adds a whole nother level of planning. I have to research where I'm going to be able to eat, if I'm going to be able to eat, or if I have to like pack and bring my own food and like all of that kinds of stuff. And so I will continue to talk about that. And because burnout is real and there's more to life than work, I think I will in the future be sharing more on this channel other than just author things. I've got a lot of really good gluten-free recipes since I got diagnosed with celiac disease, and so I will probably share some of that. And yeah, so moving forward, I'm dialing down the super drive, go get it, like do all of the things, self-publishing and whatever. And I'm going to be sharing tips and advice on self-publishing and author journey and all of that kinds of stuff. But I'm going to dial down the energy a little bit. And I'm going for more of, I know it's a trend right now, the like cozy business or whatever, but like I really think that there is something to be said for slow and steady wins the race and to prevent burnout and stuff. So I'm definitely going to be leaning more into that slow and steady mentality of productivity. And so, yeah, moving forward, that's what you can expect from me. I'm going to be sharing a little bit more about my life, my hobbies, maybe my relationships and stuff like that, because there's so much more to life than work. But also, as an author, those are the things that inspire what we write about. And so I think you have to live a really big, full life outside of writing in order to write well, and in order to write things that resonate with readers and are interesting. So I am into gardening. I am into baking and cooking and stuff like that. So I'm going to be sharing a lot more broadly, I think, moving forward. But essentially, this is still going to be an author focused channel, but there will be reading recommendations. So if you're a reader, you're more than welcome to stay and hang out. And there are going to be the random videos, gluten-free recipes, traveling with food allergies, and all the really good restaurants and bakeries and whatnot I find along my travels. So there will be some of that. So yeah, you're all welcome to stay and hang out. The dog is almost done eating, so if you can hear that, I'm really hoping that that's going to be over soon. But yeah, so the point of today's video, though, is a plan with me video. And that leads me back into business and setting your pace to prevent burnout and stuff like that. And I am planning quarterly because I feel like that's less stressful than planning every single month. There is monthly stuff that needs to wait until you get there because you get ahead of yourself and you don't leave room for things. And I have run into that issue in the past. But yeah, an exciting thing happening this year for me is that I have spent the last couple of years while I've been MIA, I've been creating this. And this is the Conspire Planner. It's a strategic business planner for authors. And there's tons of really fun stuff in it that kind of holds your hand and walks you through strategic business planning. I'm sorry if that shook the camera. This is a very real setup. You're attached to like a folding card table, so it's not the sturdiest. But the front pages guide you through like reviewing your daydream and like your vision for your life, your business, what you want it to be, and then it leads you through strategic stuff like a SWOT analysis, and how you can grow, how you want to go about growing, a bird's eye view of your plans, your 5-year master plan, like so zooming out and then zooming in. It's got some goal setting pages. It walks you through reverse engineering your goals, and there's some really fun like goal game boards. There's 5 game boards, and they're all themed for like phrases for things being easy. So the first one's a walk in the park. The second one's piece of cake. And then it's like stealing candy from a baby. It's not rocket science. And then easy as ABC. And I will, in the future, I will do a tour of those pages, and I'll even do some like how-to videos, like how to use these pages, how to do like a tutorial on reverse engineering if that's not something that you're familiar with or practice. But I will do all of that later. The Kickstarter for this planner is going to be going up in August. And so I'll be doing a lot more tour videos and tutorial videos on how to use the planner when we get closer to the Kickstarter. But for now, just diving into my Q1 plan with me. And so I always kind of start with a brain dump. Like I just need to get out of my head, like what are all the things that I'm trying to focus on? What are all of the things that I'm trying to do? I did already go through and fill out all of those goals worksheets and the reverse engineering on all of them. And then on the reverse engineering, you basically create like a step-by-step to-do list. It's just upside down. So you start at the end and then you work your way back to where you are now. And then you know your next step and your next step and your next step. And then next to that, there's space to write due dates for each of those steps. And so going based off of that, I can see for each of my goals for the year, like what things need to get done in January, February, and March. And so I made a list of those, like these are all the things that need to get done this quarter. And then I have like a brain dump page where I kind of like brain dump everything else. Like I've got some micro goals that I'm working on that aren't like main goals for the year. Like I want to get back on social media. I was basically totally MIA all of last year pretty much, and a good chunk I think of the year before that. And initially, like, it did not hurt my sales. It gave me a lot more peace of mind. Like, mental health wise, it was great. Business wise, after so many years or over a year, I think people just start to forget you exist. And that's understandable. So I want to get back on social media, not as a consumer, but just like posting updates and reminding people I'm still here, I'm still working. The next book is coming eventually. Not as quick as I would have liked, not as quick as you guys would have liked, but it is in the works, it is happening, and stuff like that. So that's like a micro goal. That's not one of my big goals for the year. But yeah, so I break down what needs to get done every month. And then there's this quarterly plan page where it really helps you to reflect on, like, this being Q1. I reflect on all of last year and I think through like what went well. What did I really enjoy about the quarter before or the year before, and what seemed to work, and what do I want to do more of, and stuff like that. And then there's like the how do I need to pivot, like what didn't go so well, and like what little things can I change to kind of pivot to go in a better direction and to make those things easier, or to get the unnecessary things off of my plate, and stuff like that. And then there's just like a state of the business. It's like a state of the union. Where are we at right now? Where are we at sales wise for the year? This is Q1. You know, if you're starting January 1st, you haven't sold anything yet. You're at 0. And profit for the year, 0, unless you happen to get a royalty check on the 1st or whatever. And then like followers, how are you feeling? Like, what's the state of your creative well? Do you need to be focused on filling your well? And what are the things that you can do that serve that purpose? Like what fills you up so that you can continue to pour out into output? And then of course, like expenses, where are you at in your publishing process? And that's different from your writing. Like, where are you at in your writing progress and where are you at in your publishing progress? So like writing wise, I'm like 6 chapters into my manuscript. Publishing wise, I have started talking to the book cover designer about all of the elements that I want to include in the book cover, stuff like that. Subscribers, and then like, what do you need? Because we have wants, and I think when we start to daydream and we get caught up in the New Year's energy and the goal setting, and like everyone's super ambitious in New Year's time, and they're like, I'm gonna do these 11 million things for the year, and my business, everything's gonna change, and like this is the year, and I love that energy for you. But we also have to be realistic, and we have to also remember not just what we want to happen this year, but what do we need to happen this year, and to think about your needs. Like if you are creatively dry, then you need to prioritize filling your creative well. And what does that look like? What does that need to entail? If you have been so gung-ho for your business that you've been neglecting your family and your relationships, then you need to take a step back and prioritize your relationships over your business. And like, what does that look like? And it's not all or nothing. Like, you don't get rid of your business to just spend time with your family. It's like, no, you've got to figure out the juggling act. So what do you need this year to look like? Maybe it's you need to prioritize your health and to stop eating unhealthy snacks while you're binge writing. And the writing is going really, really well, but you are eating and drinking like garbage, or, you know, whatever that is for you. Like, what do you need this year? And then it breaks down like your big picture goals. So, like, what are the important dates this quarter? Any sales you might be running, any events you might have coming up, um, ads or something that you want to do, like, whatever it is. Like for me, like this month I'm launching with an author friend of mine. We're starting a writers group at our local library, and the first meeting for that is going to be at the end of this month. So that's really big date that I need to keep in mind, because as part of my everyday work, that's not going to be a huge part of it. There's some prep work that needs to happen, and I need to not forget about that. So I really need to keep that date in mind, but that's not going to be the forefront of my everyday. And then I've got some sales, and I've got a giveaway. So I've got like promotions that I'm doing and stuff like that. So like those dates need to be like in there front and center. And then there's like the benchmarks that you need to hit. So all of those goals that you have for the year. And like I said, with the goal spreadsheets and the reverse engineering, I can pick out exactly what steps for each goal need to happen on what month within this quarter. And so I've got like all of those benchmarks. These are the things that need to get done for me to stay on track. Apologies. Shh. No one's here. It's fine. Dogs. So yeah, so we've got the benchmarks that we need to hit, and then we've got those sales and promos just for like your sales, like actual just focusing on your book sales. These are the important things for the quarter that we need to keep in mind. And then we have focus projects for the quarter. And so maybe one of your goals, timeline wise, like one of your goals is more in the forefront this quarter. Because that one's happening first or sooner or whatever. And so we've got like our focus projects. So for me, I like to break down quarters into seasons, like rhythms. So not like winter. Obviously, this is like the winter quarter. And then we go into spring, summer, fall. But I think of it as like winter quarter is the quarter for like rest and reflection and refilling the well. There's a lot of R's happening here. This is the R quarter. The R and R quarter. And then you go into spring, and spring is maybe more of the production quarter. That's when like nature is doing it the same way. Like we've got all the new shoots and all the plants coming back to life. And so that's when I'm going to be focused more on like creating and my output and stuff like that. And then we go into fall, and fall is like a really big quarter for me, as like I write dark fantasy. And so that's when the sales kind of amp up, because going into like fall and winter and spooky season and stuff, like that's when people are just more in that mindset. And so that's my marketing season. And then we go into winter, and we get back into like that, okay, rest and like whatever. Fall is also my writing season. And so I like to write a lot in the slower months. And so fall and winter are when I get most of my writing done. And then like spring and summer are more of like the logistics of like the publishing steps, and administrative whatever. So like that's how I break up my year. Like I have different seasons for different parts of the process. And so focus projects for the quarter, this is what's happening. And right now, especially with the burnout, with the illness, with grieving, like this is going to be a hardcore season for me to slow down and be very intentional about my productivity output levels, and making sure that I am refilling, because I feel very empty right now, mentally, emotionally, physically, like all of the things, like I am bankrupt. So strange time to choose to get back onto YouTube, but I'm sure that there are some of you out there who are with me on that. If that's true, comment down below that you are not alone. I'm not alone. We're in this together, and slow and steady wins the race. So we're just not throwing in the towel. And then there's at the very bottom of this quarterly planning sheet, it's plans for rest and plans for play. Because a big part of this planner, and I even put it on every single monthly spread in the planner, is that you have to make time for rest and play, because rest and play are prerequisites for creativity. And that is one of the mantras that I live by. Like, you have to go out and live a life. You have to go out and do things to be able to write about things. I think about like Tolkien and C.S. Lewis and stuff, and the Inklings. Like, they famously went on like walking tours. Like, they just did walking trips, and you can see how that affected Tolkien writing The Lord of the Rings. Like, he lived a hobbit life, and so he can write hobbits. And stuff like that. And so I think like going out and living a rich, vibrant life. I also know that there's a lot of psychology supporting play being vital for creativity. Going out and playing, even as an adult, like playing games, going out and just being silly, having adventures, taking trips, playing as an adult not only helps to fill your creativity, but it also helps with problem solving and, strategic business planning. Like, it helps you think outside the box. It gets those juices in your brain flowing, and it will help your business. If you take time to rest and refill your cup and play to stoke that creative fire, it's going to help your business. It's going to help your writing and your administrative side of your business. So take time for rest and play. So that's a big thing for me in every quarter, is to make sure that I am planning for those things and I am budgeting time in my schedule for them, because they are crucial and important. Then there's also the content creation brainstorm. So I think through like all the things that I've got going on this quarter that could be fun things to post about on social media. Like, I'm planning to take one of those reading trips with my friend Joe. And I've seen a lot of reels. I've seen a lot of like YouTube videos and stuff of like just a bunch of girls getting together and renting an Airbnb, taking a huge stack of books and getting cozy and just binge reading for a weekend. And that sounds wonderful to me. But that also aligns with my business and what I do. So that's something that I can share about on social media. There's also this really cool exhibit going on in Asheville, and I live in North Carolina. I don't live anywhere near Asheville, but I visit Asheville once a year at least. I've got a friend who lives out there that I love to go and see and stuff like that. And so I'm like, oh, maybe I'll switch up my trips this year, go a little early, because there's an exhibit where this artist from, what is it? Norway, the Netherlands, somewhere in Europe. And he carves like these massive troll sculptures. I think they're made out of wood. They're like these huge wood trolls. And right now they're in Asheville, North Carolina. And I really want to go and see those. But again, as a fantasy author, that lends itself very well to what I do, what I write about, what I read about, and stuff like that. Like epic fantasy vibes. And then it's also tied into like a business plan that I have for the future that maybe I should start talking more about. And so that'll be a really fun trip, but it'll be a really fun thing to share with my audience on social media. And so like you think through all those things, and then you think through like, okay, your sales that you need to promote, and any releases or things that you need to be announcing and promoting and like all of that kinds of stuff. And so you just like all the things that you need to get out. And then there's the, okay, like what are the things that I can fill in the gaps with? What are things that I can talk about? Like things that I'm going through right now is that transition from that super productivity to that cozy business. And I can talk about like the mental health decisions behind that. I can talk about like grief and creativity, and how grief is difficult, but creativity can help you in processing. And like, so all these things that I'm going through in my life, like these are the conversations I can be having with my audience. And so I kind of list those out, and then I'll brain dump things for my newsletter. Like, what are the big conversations that I want to have with my closest audience members? And so what am I going to include in my newsletter? Also, what are the insider things that's like my Patreon gets to know this first, my newsletter gets to know it second before I ever share it on social media. And so you can kind of like timeline your content dumping. And then like based on all of those things that you're going to be discussing and talking about, you can kind of brainstorm like, okay, well then what's like the aesthetic vibe that I'm going for, especially if you're on like Instagram or TikTok. And it's like, okay, well, this winter season, I'm talking about slowing down, I'm grieving, I'm doing all of these things. It's like, okay, let's go for like more of a cozy look than usual. And also like focusing on like the rhythms of nature. And so like maybe like as part of grieving, as part of the creative process and all of it, walking is really important for me. I also use this app, not sponsored, not ever sponsored on this channel because I am tiny and no one knows I exist. But I use Conqueror challenges, and they have some really fun ones. Like I'm going to Mordor. I'm walking to Mordor. I've been walking to Mordor for a couple of years now. I still haven't made it. I am way slower than Sam and Frodo, but that's fine. But it makes it fun. And so I can like post my progress, like where I'm at. Like right now, I am chilling with Gladriel. I'm in Lothlorien. And so like it's a good time. It's also nerdy and goes perfectly with my audience and what they're into. So like you can share all these things, but I can also like along with that share pictures of like beautiful aesthetics or reels walking through the maritime forest here on the Outer Banks. A lot of people don't realize like we're an island, we live on a beach, but there are forests still. So like all the different things. Or like if I do go out to Asheville, like hiking through the mountains and like beautiful things like that. So it's like you start to think through like the aesthetic vibe. So I want really cozy, but lots of nature. And then you can make a list of like the graphics you need to create for like your sales and your promos and your giveaways and whatnot. But then also like the pictures that you need to take, like actual photographs. And then you can make a list of like the like short videos you might want to take, like for reels or TikToks, and then long form videos like this that I need to film for the quarter. And then there's also audio. So I started last year, right before things really started to hit the fan with my dad. I started the Conspire podcast. So if you're here for strategic business planning as an author, definitely go check out the Conspire podcast. I got like 3 episodes up before I was in the hospital for like 2 months with my dad. And so that's going to be getting back on track. That's one of my big goals for the month is to start getting those episodes out every week again. And so recording the audio for that. But then also I am in the process of recording the audiobooks of my whole series. So that's like longer form audio that I am like recording chapters and stuff like that for audiobooks. So it's like the audio that I need to record. And then you can create like your ideal posting schedule of like what you want to be posting on which platforms. So it's like I'm posting pictures and reels and encouragement and whatever on Instagram. I'm posting audiobook sneak listens. It's not really a sneak peek because you're listening, but like sneak sound bites for like my audiobooks, maybe on my Patreon, chapter previews on my Patreon, and then like updates and like whatever, like in my newsletter, and like how often you're going to be posting on each of those platforms, so on and so forth. As a side note, I'm also trying, because I don't enjoy social media. Like I love YouTube. I love Pinterest. I don't really like being on Facebook at all. I don't enjoy Instagram like I used to. I feel like I don't know. I just don't enjoy those things as much, but I love YouTube, which is why I want to start getting back on YouTube. And I love Pinterest. So that I have used ardently as a consumer, but I haven't really dipped my toe into it too much as a content creator. So I want to learn more, research more, and do more around Pinterest. So that'll be a fun thing for this quarter. And then like I'm really into vision boarding. I like an aesthetic. I like crafting and glue sticks and pretty little things or whatever. And so I'm a big vision boarder for the year. I usually create a vision board. This year I actually didn't. I printed out all the pictures and I made all of the things. It's sitting right over there to make a vision board. And then I didn't. And I don't know if I will. Like I have everything for it, But like on my mind really a lot right now is that like I want to walk by faith, not by sight. And for some reason it hit me really hard that like vision boarding for the year was not what I needed to do this year. Not that it's a bad thing at all, but for some reason this year I feel like I'm really being called to walk by faith, and to not see the next step, but to just take it anyways. And so this year is going to be a really different year for me, and we'll see how that goes. But I am vision boarding quarterly, but it's more for like this season and things to focus on. So like some of my stuff for my vision board this season is like, be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. And I feel that in my bones. Like I am in a season of waiting. I am in a season of what the heck is happening and where do we go from here? And just processing of like life threw me a massive curveball and I didn't plan for this. I don't know what the next step is and stuff like that. And then I also have on here just a little quote. It says, winter is a season of recovery and preparation. And again, like I feel that. And that doesn't mean that I'm just sitting here doing nothing. I am easing back into figuring out rhythms of productivity that are still restful, and stuff like that. And I also want to make it fun. And so that leads me into the next page in the planner, which is a quarterly bingo. So again, like I'm taking all of those steps that I need to get done this quarter for all of those big major goals that I'm working towards for the game boards. And then I color coded based on which goal and which game board it's for. And then I wrote in all the little steps. And then I tried not to put them next to each other. So I'm not just working on one goal to get bingo and then I'm neglecting all the other goals. So I tried to space them out and stuff to make me, try to stay on top of everything. And some of these things were really easy things to just go ahead and get done. And so I can mark those off, and that would have been really quick and easy for that one goal to get me bingo. And I didn't want that to happen. So they're kind of randomly placed. And then I can work on that throughout the quarter, and then I can figure out what my reward is going to be. And I decided that it's been a really, really long time. I usually only I haven't had my hair professionally cut in over a decade. I cut my own hair. And I don't care that much about my hair. I pretty much wear it up in a messy bun or a claw clip like every single day. But I thought like some form of like self-pampering, going to the salon or whatever. And then I was like mani-pedis. Because I got a manicure for prom and like for like weddings or something, like very special occasions. I've never gone and just gotten one just cause. And so I'm like, that could be fun. That would be a nice little like reward, and something to look forward to, especially in the winter, like a pedicure, your feet are all dry and like, I don't know, like everything's dry in the winter. So it's like, that would be nice to go and just like pamper my hands and feet. And so that's my reward that I chose. Now you don't have to do your goal, step-by-steps in the bingo board. You could just do like, I hit this many sales, or like I wrote this many words, or like whatever. Like you can do that in your bingo board. Like you can use the bingo board however you want. It's just another way to gamify your business and make it fun. So yeah, that's really like the last page in the quarterly planning. And then each month has a little mind map section that I'm probably going to use as like brain dumping throughout the month. They're just writing down little things that I need to not forget or encouragements for myself. I'm not really sure how I'm going to use those pages yet, but that's the beauty of this planner, is that there's so many different kinds of pages and you can use them however you want. There's vision boards, there's mind maps, there's brain dump pages, there are notes pages, there's plenty of space to just get all of your thoughts out of your head, and you can do them however you want. And then each month has the to-do list, checklist, incomes and expenses, monthly goals, important dates, all of that stuff, book sales, and then just a little note section. Each month has one of those. And so I do go ahead and take all of those, again, the things that I put into my bingo board, those benchmarks that I need to hit each month during the quarter, I go ahead and I put all of those things in the to-do list for each month so I don't forget about them. So they're everywhere, so there's no forgetting. These are the things that we're working towards. These are the things that need to get done. And then as each month comes, because I don't want to get too ahead of myself, because you never know what life's going to throw at you. That lesson learned. But yeah, so you can take each month and you can just write on your to-do list, like, I need to not forget this in February, I need to not forget this in March. But then when that month comes around, you can look at that to-do list and then you can flip to your monthly spread and you can be like, okay, that's going to happen on this Tuesday, or, you know, fill in the blank, and then do it as the month comes. But again, like, this planner is like made to be customized. Everything is basically a coloring sheet. The font title pages that I chose can be colored in. Like, I wanted you to be able to customize this to your color palette, your vibe, your aesthetic, whatever. Like, no matter what genre you write, nonfiction, fiction, doesn't matter. Like, this planner is made for authors and it is made to be customized. I bought a ton of little sticker sheets with little cats all over them and fun colors and bright, like, seasonal, monthly, like, things. But you can do it all for your genre aesthetic or like whatever you want to do. It's meant to be fun and to make strategic business planning fun and gamify it and enjoy it. Because if you infuse the creativity that you use in your writing into the administrative side of your business, you're not only going to enjoy it more, you're going to be more successful, because business is creative. And strategic business planning can be just as fun, if not more fun, than the writing side. I love writing. I do. But I like the business side more. And I know that makes me odd, but that's why I'm here, to try to share that enthusiasm and try to infuse that into your author business and help you enjoy the business side just as much as the writing side. Because trust me, when you take that and you take that creativity and you infuse it into that business side, you're gonna have a blast and you're gonna be successful. And that's what this planner is designed to help people do. That's what I'm here to try to help people do, because I know how frustrating it can be to pour your heart and soul into a book and then you have to market it. And then you're like, oh, and then I have to track my sales and I have to do taxes and blah. And that's not the fun side. But it can be. Maybe not taxes, but that's a necessary evil. But the planning, the growth, the marketing, that can all be so much fun. So if you're not finding it fun, if you're having a hard time with that, if you don't enjoy the business side of being an author as much as writing, you're in the right place. And I hope you hang out and I hope you stick around. And yeah, I think that's it for this quarter. I hope you enjoyed going through the planner with me. Stay tuned. The planner is coming. If you think that this is a thing that will help your business, that would help you to gamify your business or to have more fun with the planning side, or you just need to get better about actually planning things because you tend to just wing it, then you can click the link in the description box that will take you to where you can sign up for reminders and alerts and behind the scenes looks. There's lots of pictures of the planner and everything over on the website. So you can go and you can click on that and you can sign up, add your email to the list. And when that Kickstarter goes live, I will remind you that it's there and to go and order your planner. So thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope that you have an amazing first quarter of this year and that you are rested and rejuvenated and your creative well is refilled during the next few months, moving into 2026. And I hope this is your best year yet. So I will see you guys next time. Until then, go and check out the Conspire podcast and sign up for reminders on the planner release. And yeah, I'll see you guys, if not before, then in Q2 for my Q2 plan with me. But who knows? I might pop on here before then. Until then, see you next time.